Hey everybody, it's Angela and I've got a process video today, and I was inspired to do this layout by Nancy, and she is Kitty Scrapper here on YouTube, and she recently posted a video of a layout she did that had a lot of purple, and then she used a lot of stamps on it and kind of had almost a doodling look to those stamps. And so I really love that layout. So I was inspired to try this, and thank you, Nancy. And so I have pulled out some watercolor paper, and I haven't primed it with anything. It's just the watercolor paper, and I'm using gelatos on some packaging and water. And where the gelatos are, you know, kind of too creamy, I'm just kind of rubbing them with my finger to get the chunks out. And I'm mixing just a couple colors of them, and here I'm doing some gelatos direct to the paper just to give a little bit more intense color in a couple areas. And that's a more pink color, and then I have some purple colors. I don't know what the actual names of them are. I have the big set, and then I'm just adding some water to that to get it to run and give a little bit of, you know, pooling on there to give more saturated color in some areas and less in others. So now it's dried, and I went and I pulled out a few stamps, probably too many, but on this Prima stamp I wanted to use this little ladybug, so that's the only one I use off of this stamp. I don't use it quite yet, but I put it on a block. Then I'm going through here, and I kind of want a doodling effect like she had going on hers, and so I have this stamp that I don't have the packaging for, so I don't know who it's by, but it's a pretty old one, and it's just got some different flowers, like half of a flower on there. And then I have this new Cocoa Daisy stamp I just got in my last kit, and it was kind of a citrus themed kit, so I think one of the stamps is like an orange slice on there, but I just used some of the round, more geometric ones on there, and I'll show you those here in a second. But first I'm going to take half of this flower, and I'm just going to start off this upper edge, and that's kind of what Nancy had going on hers. And then here you can see two of the Cocoa Daisy stamps that I have, and one of them fits perfect in the center of that flower and almost makes it look like a sunflower. So I'm just stamping that circle a couple of times, and it's just a little round geometric pattern. And then I'm going to do a couple different clusters in a few different areas on this layout. So I'm cleaning that off with a baby wipe, because I wasn't exactly sure at this point where I wanted the other cluster, so I kind of wanted to finish this cluster first. So now I'm going on with this. It's just some little arrows or little arrowheads in a circle. It's also a Cocoa Daisy stamp. And so I go ahead and put that down. And then I'm not sure if I go on to my next cluster or not. Yeah, I'm pulling out this second flower half, which has more rounded petals on the flower than the other one, which had pointier petals. So I'm going to put that one down on this side. And I don't know if it was because they were bigger or what, but they didn't stamp as good as my Cocoa Daisy stamps. But like I said, I don't have the packaging for those, and they're really old, so I don't know if the quality suffers on some of those acrylic stamps, or they weren't good quality to begin with. They were probably just an inexpensive on sale stamps that I picked up somewhere. So here again, I'm adding some more of these geometric circles, just kind of overlapping things. And I'm using a pigment ink, just a black pigment ink. I think this is from Hampton Art. And now I'm going to also add some of those triangle circles on there, like I did in the other one. And then I had pulled out a lot of different stamp sets. I mean, I just started looking and I just had so many cool stamps. I was, you know, what a first world problem, huh? So I had this one that just says, remember this moment, I think. around in a circle. And I know I want to do one more cluster kind of there in the center, but I want it to be a smaller cluster, so I'm not going to put as many items. I have this leaf, I believe this is off of an Amy Tan stamp set. It's just a leaf. I'm adding a few leaves coming out of there in a couple different places. And that's where my photo is going to be. And so I just wanted a little bit of a cluster on the upper right hand corner of that photo, but not as bold of a cluster. So I have this heart, and I think that's from a Tim Holtz. Yeah, it's from a Tim Holtz stamp set. And so it's just kind of a sketchy heart. And then there I go with the ladybug from the Prima stamp set. I kind of stamp that all over. It's a really cute little ladybug. And let's see, do I do any others? I can't remember now. Oh, I'm going to do one more flower. I decided that was a little bit too small of a cluster, so I did beef it up a little bit with that flower. And so I think after these leaves, I think that's the end of my stamping. And the picture I'm going to scrapbook here is one of my granddaughter, and she's actually the picture. I looked through my photos of what I wanted to scrapbook, and I didn't have any with purple in it because purple's not usually a color I use a lot. It's not my favorite color, but I just saw Nancy's layout and I was like, yeah, I want to do purple. So anyhow, I went ahead and did this, but I didn't have a photo with purple in it. So I recolored her little like hoodie towel that she has on after her bath, and it was kind of a more of a pinky color, and I made it purple in Photoshop. So it's not exactly how the photo was originally. Usually I don't wind up changing my photos or editing my photos much, but this one I did change to purple. And I think I am off looking for some purple paper to mat this photo with. I think. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know I come back at some point. And so yeah, this layout was one that Nancy had done a while ago, and she hadn't put it up on YouTube, but she had done a video of it. And yeah, I was so glad she did, because that was the whole jumping off point for this layout. So yeah, I'm grabbing some papers out of my stash. These are some, I think, from hot off the press, older papers that I have. They're just single-sided, because I don't usually, like I said, buy purple paper, and I think these came in a really old kit, so these have been around for a while. So I matted purple around the photo, and then I had a little scrap of that gray paper that has little white hearts on it. And then I also have these yo-yos that I got at Tuesday Morning, and they had purple on them. So I wanted to use them just like flowers, and I think it was like 99 cents for the package. 99 cents or $1.99. I think it was just 99 cents. And they were just so cute. And so I wanted to go ahead and use those. But then I decided, you know what, I do want to mount this because it did warp a little bit when I put all that water on. So I thought before I got too much decoration on there and stuff, I better go ahead and do the trimming that I want to do before I go any further. And then I lost the yo-yo, and I didn't realize it had stuck to my paper trimmer. So I'm looking all over my desk for that other yo-yo, looking under the layout. And then I looked back at the paper trimmer and it was stuck to it. So now I took my picture back off because I just wanted to put some black ink around the edge just to kind of blend in with all that black stamping. And the yo-yos also have some black print in that fabric, and one of them has a little bit of silver in it. It's can't really see it on camera, but it has a little bit of silver thread in that fabric. So I wanted to kind of go with the gray. And then I took the paper that I matted the photo on, and I used these dies, and I think I show a close-up of the package here in a second so I can tell you the manufacturer. But yeah, it has 3 different bows, and they're all small bows because I have the Maggie Holmes bow die that I use a lot. And so I wanted some other sizes that were smaller. And so I went ahead and got this one. It might be a paper tray ink. I'm not positive yet. But I went ahead and cut those out. I don't know who that was, Truly Gifted. If anyone's really interested in that, just leave me a comment below and I can go look back and find out who that stamp set was by. But yeah, it just makes these little bows. So I'm taking 2 of them that I cut out, and then I just inked the edges of them with the same black ink, and I kind of inked the top of the tails a little heavier with the black ink so that it would look almost like shadowing on the bow, from the bow. And I'm just using a little bit of my Scotch quick dry adhesive to put those on, because they were pretty small pieces, you know, and trying to get it to stick was a little bit difficult. So I went ahead and put some extra wet glue. I think I have to go back and stick it down again, and I use even more wet glue on there just to hold it down. So I'm just putting 1 bow on my photo and then 1 in that upper right hand cluster. And I'm just putting a little more ink because I could see the white edge. I didn't get it very good the first time. And then adhering that bow. And then I'm liking how that's coming together, but I decide to take some purple thread. I got a bag of just spools of thread from the Goodwill a couple weeks ago, just kind of for this purpose, or for my sewing machine too. Yeah, and it had purple thread in it, so it's kind of a dark purple, which is kind of nice. You can kind of tell that it's purple, but it almost kind of looks black, and both those colors go, you know, with what I'm doing here. So I just go ahead and kind of make a wad of that and stick it down. There's a little piece of score tape on the layout, and then I stick the yo-yo back down on top. And I'm only going to do these 3 yo-yos that I'm showing here, and I'm going to leave the 4th one. I thought doing all of them was just a little bit too much. So I'm really liking that. The thread just kind of softens it up and kind of pulls in more of that kind of doodling, sketchy look. And then I need some purple enamel dots, and luckily I have these ones from Marissa. Hi Marissa, thank you. And so I'm still using those, and there was some purple in there, and I pulled out a couple black ones. And these are homemade enamel dots. And so I'm just going to place those around, and I think I use my glossy accents. Glassy accents. It's late. And just put those down, and that just adds a little bit more texture and a few more pops of color, because the shades of purple on those are a little bit different than the shades of purple in the yo-yos, and the shades of purple in the gelatos, and the shade of purple that the little towel is in the photo. So with all those different shades, there's still kind of a continuity, almost a monochromatic continuity to it, so it works. So now I've got those down, and I know I want to put a title on here. So I go and get some silver thickers, because like I said, one of the fabric yo-yos had some silver thread in it, and then I have that gray mat. So Silver and purple just go really well together. And my tile is going to be cute as a bug. I'm not exactly sure, you know, I put it on wax paper so I can figure out how I'm going to place this, and then, you know, I wind up moving it. So I don't know why I put it on wax paper to begin with, but usually I do a little better at my planning before I stick it down. But I think I was watching murder mystery, so I was maybe concentrating on that a little more than I was on my title here. But I didn't like that placement after I got it down, so I'm just going to set the cute up there. I wanted a little more height on the title, so I decide to stack them. And then the black letters to the left are what I'm going to use for the Asa. And I'm not sure where those came from, what they're off of. It looks like maybe I cut the package off of something. It might have been like a 12 by 12 sheet that I cut the alphas apart, but they're not very sticky at all. You can see that A already fell off. I'm trying to get them to stick down, and I'm realizing they're not going to stick on their own, so I get out my glossy accents. Just put that, because I like the font. It's a nice clean font and it's a good size, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to glue down something that small. I don't know if it was just the watercolor paper or gelatos that was making it not sticky, or if they're just maybe old and not sticky. I don't know. But I like that placement a lot better. And so I'm liking that. And then, like I said, I knew I wanted to mount this on another paper because it had warped a little bit. So I'm looking through my purples. As you can see, there's another bug. You know, it's a different kind of bug than my last video. And it's kind of ironic because I'm saying cute as a bug, and yeah. So anyhow, I'm going to use a lot of adhesive on this because, like I said, it had warp, so I'm going to try to straighten it out. And that watercolor paper is, you know, pretty stiff, so you need a lot of paper to help straighten it out. And so I get that down. And I'll probably do some journaling right below the photo. You know, just about her always having a little smile on her face, and just being so sweet-natured, and she's sitting up now and just so enjoyable. So I'm looking at it, seeing if, you know, if there's anything else I want to change, and I'm like, or add, and I'm like, nope, I think I'm going to call that done. So I believe I'm going to lift it up here for some close-ups. I'm still thinking there's that bug again. Like I said, I live near a large river, so there's seems to always be bugs. So there you can see, cute as a bug, and I've got the little ladybug and the heart. And remember this stamp, the doodle flowers and thread and fabric yo-yos, and the little bows that I'd cut out. And that is my layout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment below, and I will talk to you later. Bye.